representation might be had with the board of the authority if our local state officials decided who was on the board and not the governor. The ones who have their ears and eyes on the ground, such as Sheldon Silver's office, such as Daniel Squadron's office, if they could put in place a board, I think that would be much more responsive to the community, and we'd have more than Martha Gallo, who's been doing a great job there.
In this report, I have as the third point recommendation, increase resident representation on the board from the current one to a minimum of 3 of the residents.
I agree with that, but I also think we should take the power of representation out of the hands of the governor, who I think is too far away from our area to be able to do it.
I value that input, but I'm going to have to research that because as legislatively a state agency, I don't know what that would take to do.
Yeah,
so we'll look into that, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Nominations for elected officials.
Exactly. But other questions on this?
Under communication,
Yes.
I took a look back. I believe, based on the community board notes, we have not actually, the communication stopped in 2012, not 2013. We have not been at that facility since 2012.
Well, I'll change that date, but being at the facility and communication are two different
Right.
topics, so
But
I'll move that to 12.
There are notes in the general board meetings from November 2012 saying that the BPCA has been non-responsive, they haven't showed up, things like that.
Yep.
So I went back and it just seemed a little bit more like to have the
No problem.
Anthony, you were also chair of the committee for quite a while. I used to come to all the meetings at the board office. At those meetings, I can't remember. Did the authority ever send representatives to those meetings? Because before, you say here, before 2012, the meetings were there. Actually, the meetings with you were at the board office.
Well, I actually had 2 tenures as chair of this committee. I was first appointed in the beginning of 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Actually, at the end of 2000, just before the...
Right after Rob.
Right after you, and just around the time of September 11th. And at that time, we had our meetings at the board office. I think not Leticia, Mario was the...
Mario Torres.
Right?
Yeah.
He infrequently came. However, there was still a good communication between the authority and the committee. Even though they weren't at every one of them, there was an open door policy, there was good communication. But I think, over time, we got spoiled because for a number of years, we were at the authority's boardroom, and Leticia hosted it. Often at the time, Gail Horwitz or Tim Carey or even Jim Kavanaugh, they set some expectations at that time where it was very much an open door policy.
Well, we also have to remember the chair was incapable of travel.
That was one of the
and that
reasons
helped
why we
Linda get
had
to the
them.
meetings. Yeah.
In fact, that was the reason we started there, was
Yeah.
because the board office was not really ADA accessible for Linda Belfer at the time. So.
I remember that there was some, that the board of operations didn't always want to be in that room because they felt that they couldn't talk,